What?
Hey everybody, I'm Tony with Sundance. We're here tonight with Sam Heaton again on our Get Hooked Fishing.
Yep.
And we're here to talk
January.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
January, and it is January. It's been cold.
What are we talking about today?
I want to talk a little bit about Pompano.
Well, before we do that, we're going to talk about inshore. So Pompano, mackerel, bluefish, right?
Yeah. Well, before we do what? Talk about Pompano?
Well, I wanted to let everybody know, we got some deals still going on for boats. We were at the boat
we want
show.
to talk about the boats.
Well,
yeah.
we want to just tell everybody.
I understand.
Let everybody know we're still selling boats.
Was that on the script?
Yeah. See right there. See my blank piece of paper.
Yeah. I heard the boat show was pretty good this year.
It was pretty cold.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get to come. I was busy.
It was very cold on Saturday and really cold on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then Friday it rained on us, but it was a good show.
Good.
We had a good time. We sold some boats. We're still selling some boats, and we have some leftovers, and we have some more 2022s to make deals on. So.
Y'all got a lot of boats on the lot.
Yeah.
I really like that 25 Everglades out there. That's nice.
Yep. We've got some boats. Parker Everglades. We got Twin V now.
Yeah.
And we're going to get out next month and have some video for one of our Twin V boats we're going to take out and fish.
Mm-hmm. I want to do that because the offshore fish has been pretty good.
Yeah.
The sailfish have been pretty good. Few cobia showing up, just a few. And Spanish mackerel fishing's good. So hopefully if the weather cooperates, we'll have a good year.
So have you've been out in the Spanish?
Mm-hmm.
Any size to them?
Yeah, I don't like the real big ones. I catch enough to eat, 4 is my limit. And I don't like the real big ones. I like the small ones about like that, about 18
I kind of like the bigger ones, a little thicker fillet, and then, I like to, I do a beer batter fry with them same day.
I grill all mine.
You grill it?
Mm-hmm.
What about bluefish? You seen any of those?
Always catching bluefish. You can catch bluefish.
The guys
anytime.
came in the other day. They had some. They're typically on the beach and they run in the rivers and.
They're in the river right now. Bluefish are in the river right now. And any place you're gonna catch pompano, the bluefish are just they migrate. They're all over the place. They will travel more than any fish I really know of. I mean, outside.
Has anybody ever caught any bigger ones offshore? Because the big ones run offshore. They get some, down here, big is probably up to 10 pounds. I know they get a lot bigger up north, but.
Yeah, up north they get a lot bigger. But I've never caught any big ones down here. Anything, 6 or 8 pounds is about the biggest thing I've kept.
But that's big for in near the beach.
Yeah.
I don't usually see them that big. I usually just see the 16, 15, 16, 17 inches.
Right. It's those bigger ones, like I say, those bluefish are fine to eat if you eat them fresh.
Yep.
Gotta eat them fresh.
Same with the mackerel.
If you freeze them, not so much.
What about pompano?
Pompano are always good, whether you freeze them or
them?
not. Yeah, we've been catching them, and I've got some stuff here that I noticed you brought a couple of jigs in too. But I've got some. Went pompano fishing and I got some stuff at the Snook Nook, and I wanted to share. These are the Gulfstream jigs. I like that one. The bronze head with the bronze tail, and I do mine a little bit different than a lot of people do.
I brought the same thing in, but I use both white and bronze head.
I do mine a little bit different. There was a James. I can't remember James' last name. Huh?
Gronk?
Oh, no. This is a long time ago. He was an ex, hey, how you doing? He was an ex mercenary, hung out to Snook Nook all the time. I always cut my feather off right behind the hook, right behind the bend of the hook. I like it like that. And then I also, rather than go with, shrimp's good, and I use shrimp. But if I'm gonna go for just a fishing time, I like this stuff right here. These fish bites. I don't know if you can see that. I gotta get that picked up a little bit. But and they're just so much easier to use. You just take it and hook it. I hook mine right through the big part, and it goes through the water, something like that. And it has that odor to it. It's this is the
Is that you to the toilet?
yeah. This is the shrimp, orange shrimp. This is the shrimp smell. Yeah. But that's what I use for pompano. And I like a little bit bigger head. And I noticed your jigs got bigger heads on them. Because what I want that thing to do when it's sitting on the bottom and I pop it, I want it to kind of in that sand. And that's the reason I like the little bit bigger head. I like a 20-pound leader.
How far do you pop it?
I don't pop it much. I'll show you.
You want it to get high enough just so it comes off the bottom,
Yeah.
and then drops back down. The fish are going to hit it on that way, probably down on the way down, or once it hits the bottom.
Tony sabotaged me here. I just like to pop it just like I hold my rod about 10 o'clock and I just pop it like that on the bottom. A couple of times, and I'll reel it a little bit and I'll pop it again, reel it a little bit, pop it again. And that seems to work the best for me. I see these guys jigging, and some of the commercial guys jig the hell out of that thing. I mean, like shoo, shoo. I don't know if they're using a heavier jig or if they're trying to get it higher off the bottom. I don't know, but they fish it a lot faster than I do. Maybe I ought to start fishing it faster. But, I see them doing putting a lot more action in it than what I'm putting in it.
Are you doing this off the beach?
No, sir, I'm doing it out of my boat on shallow sand flats.
Okay. How shallow?
Oh, I'll fish anything that's 18 inches or deeper, because if you get in that shallow water, you can actually you can see them. You can spot them when on an outgoing tide. I mean on an incoming tide. I'm sorry, not on an outgoing tide. It's St. Lucie.
Cleaner water.
Yeah, cleaner water, and the man, I'll tell you, the St. Lucie has been muddy, nasty looking, man. Have you seen that, Popo?
Yeah, from the the heavy winds.
Yeah,
It's stirring it up.
it's. I use I use one of my rods, B&M Sam Salt, and 7 foot and medium action. I mean, the Pompano they fight like crazy for their size. But I think if you use one of the big stiff rods, it kills all your sensitivity. So I don't really like that. And, there's not much out there for them to get hung up on. Those stumps or logs on those sand flats. And I do better on sand flats than I do than I do in the seagrass, which that's a good thing because there ain't no more seagrass. They killed it all.
Mike Holiday posted a photo of a release of a bonefish right out here.
Oh, yeah.
And the picture showed some like baby sandgrass, the seagrass growing, which was kind of interesting.
There's some grass out there about that high.
Yeah.
About that high.
It's good. Hopefully we keep seeing it grow.
Hopefully it will,
But you asked about the depth. I mean, when you're using this kind of jig and doing this type of fishing, you're looking for the fish. They're swimming. Sometimes they'll swim on top of the flat. Sometimes they'll swim in the channels on the edges. So you kind of got to hunt them out.
And a lot of times I've been catching them around the sharks. The shark, you'll see them around. They're staying close to those sharks.
Up on the flats?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
We saw some eagle rays up on the flats, but no pompano.
No pompano with them.
Yeah. Saw 4 or 5 up there.
Mm-hmm.
They were up on the beach. I don't know. Does anybody beach fish? The guys were catching them. Were you getting them on the beach?
I haven't in a while, but I do like to be.
My neighbor likes
That's
to
why I
go.
was asking, I'm like. I don't
That's
think
harder to do on the beach.
I've never seen that.
You know,
do that.
a lot of guys. You know, if you're throwing a beach rod, you know they're using clam
If I'm
strips.
fishing on the beach, I'm gonna fish live bait or dead bait, clams and shrimp, and I'm gonna be using a long rod. And the reason you want to use that long rod, it allows you to cast further, and it allows you to keep your line out of the water more. And I like those weights. It's got those spikes on it, so that it can't drift your bait so bad. You know, I like the beach. Yeah, I wish I spent more time out there, but
They were
Yeah.
out there after Christmas. My neighbor was getting them, and he said that the best bait he was using was strips, clam strips.
I use sand fleas.
Yeah, he said there was guys with sand fleas weren't getting them. He said the guys with the clam strips, they'd put a sand flea and a clam strip, and every time they'd get one on that hook that had the clam strip.
I'd a lot rather have the clam strips. Even if you're fishing out of the boat and fishing on the bottom, you know. And there's nothing wrong with anchoring up. If you get into them, anchoring up, fish a couple of baits on the bottom, and then, you know, jig off the front of the boat. That's allowed. That's sporty, you know, especially if you catch some. I love to eat pompano. They're delicious. My wife sautés them with some Italian seasoning, and they're pretty tasty. Pretty tasty.
Do you skin them?
Huh? Yes, I skin them. I sure do. I skin them. Got now, if I catch one big enough, I'll pull the skin off, just like you do a mahi-mahi.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll grab the skin and pull it down, and then fillet the fillet off. So, but it leaves that white residue on the meat, but it goes away when you cook it, or it disappears into the meat, I guess. I don't know how it does, really. But good pompanos is some of my favorite. Of course, the Spanish are out there, you know, you can, I know that these commercial guys, they're going to get out there and throw their nets and all that, and that's fine. Whatever, I've been through all that with them. But if you get out there and you got some room, troll like a Uzuri crystal minnow, something like that. Troll. There comes your other buddy. Hey, Captain, how you doing, sir?
Good, how are you?
Good. You know, that way you can locate them a little bit. If you're gonna anchor up, you need some chum. Need some glass minnow chum, a block of that. Put it in a bucket, reach down, throw out a handful of it every once in a while, and chum them in. But like I say, I only take like 4 at a time. I had a funny story. I'm gonna tell it on Ed Keller. Ed Keller, we were fishing for Spanish a couple of years ago, and he had 3 young boys at home. And he said, "Oh man," he said, "if we could catch some Spanish, that would be great. My kids love Spanish." I said, "Well, we'd catch some fish. We'd catch some Spanish, you know, no problem." So we went out there. I forget what the limit was. I think we had there was 3 people in the boat. And I think we had like 12 or 15 Spanish, pretty good sized Spanish. And we got back in, and I said, "Ed, do you have something to put these fish in?" He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, we kept all these Spanish. Don't you want them?" He said, "Oh, I only want 2 or 3." And I had all them Spanish. I was on a smoking mission for like 2 days straight. You can smoke them and freeze them, and then when you make your fish dip out of them, it's still pretty good. But if you try to freeze them and then smoke them, no, don't work. Don't work.
Yes, you definitely
Yeah.
smoke a bunch of them, and I vacuum seal them and freeze them. And then, like you said, you just whip it up when you need to make some fish dip.
Yes, sir. And it's always good for parties. Everybody likes it.
What else?
What else?
You're the one fishing, man.
Sell fish?
He almost didn't make it tonight. I
I
called him
was,
up. He's like, I'm on the way to the ramp. We doing this tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
I'm like,
I was
no.
going pompano fishing this afternoon. You know,
Yeah,
I
10
love
more
to-
minutes and you
I
had to
love-
come here by boat.
Yeah, exactly. I would have had to come by boat. And I wasn't this fresh. But I love fishing. I always have, ever since I can remember. I still do. I'm 74 years old. I'm very, very fortunate that I love fishing.
Okay,
as
so
much as I
tell us
do.
the secret. Where were you going to go?
Sailfish Flats, right in front of the House of Refuge.
So you go on that side where the little channel runs along those
Yep.
docks and fish over there?
And that's not the only place I catch them, but that's an easy place to get to, and it's, you know, it's open so that you're not being crowded and people aren't raising hell at one another and that kind of stuff. I don't like that, so I try to stay out of it. Now, there's a couple more places right out here on what we call the training grounds, right out here, well, next bridge up. This
That's
bridge,
this bridge right here.
it's right here. It's right here. The training grounds is a good place to fish. You know, it's a lot of fish will run that channel, and I don't like to get right up on top of it. I like to stay back. You know, I like it when I like to stay at about 6 feet and throw up in the shallow and work it off. You know,
There's a, right on the northeast side of the Jensen Causeway.
Mhm.
There's like a bar there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it used to be seagrass. I don't know how much grass is left, but we used to get trout up there, and this time of year there'd be pompano running through there, and some mackerel.
It's a big hook. It's a sandbar. It's a hook sandbar, and oh yeah, it's a great place. I've caught them on that thing for years and years, and it's a great place to fish. I think there's a couple of pipe. Somebody
some-
drove some PVC pipe.
On
right
the east
now.
side of it, there's a
Yeah,
there's a deep
yeah.
edge along it. I guess.
Right.
Why do you call this the training grounds?
That's where we used to take people to. Mark Nichols and I used to take people that that didn't know how to fish. We'd take them there, catch trout, and croakers and silver trout. Anybody catch any silver trout? No. I like silver trout, and there's no limit on them. Get your book out, Popo, and make sure I'm right.
You're right.
All right.
No size, no limit.
No size, no
100
limit.
pounds. Everything's 100 pounds, but
100 pounds.
yeah.
Sir,
I think we caught one.
caught one silver. Not bad. Up the river.
Up by Nettles, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there another
Metal
name
town.
for that?
Silver trout?
Is there
Weak fish?
Weak fish, right?
Yeah, weak fish up north.
Or sand trout.
Or
Sand trout. Yeah.
They
They're
don't-
catching some redfish up north, up past Vero. You know, still catching some redfish. Of course, you can't keep them, but they're still catching some. Offshore, kingfish are still out there. It's a good time of year for the kingfish. Sail fishing has been really good. You know, sail fishing has been really good. Not a lot of artificial, but mostly live bait, trolling dead bait. You know, kite fishing. How many of you kite fish? Kite. You know, I used to think, oh hell, that's gonna be the hardest thing I ever tried to do in my life. But it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Kite fishing is not that bad.
Hey, we got a message from our friends out in Colorado, Jerry and Carolyn.
Hey, Jerry. I hope you're feeling
They say
good.
hello from snowy Colorado. I guess it's snowing out there.
Well, nobody forced you to go
Hope you're
out
doing
there.
well, Jerry.
Nobody forced you to go out there. Get yourself back to Florida. You're too old to be in the snow.
Well, his
He's a
son's-
good guy.
his
You know,
son is
he's one
down
of
there.
the leading physical therapists in the country. He was really successful in his business. He had like physical therapy places. He had like a bunch of them, man.
Yeah. I think his,
Can I ask you a question?
Yes,
about
sir.
kite? talk a little bit about how you do kite fish. I mean, I understand how you put up the kites and attach the baits, but do you drift? Do you motor?
Yeah,
Motor with
you,
it? What do you do?
well, if there's no wind, you have to bump yourself along, or put a helium. But I don't like all that helium in the boat and all them balloons and all
It's
that. I'm not
expensive
really,
too.
huh?
It costs a lot of money for helium.
Oh, I know.
If you
Yeah,
can even find it,
expensive.
right?
But you rig it. You get your kite up, and then you put your clips on your kite string, and you put I don't like more than 2 rods on one kite. And these tournament guys, they fish 5 and 6 on a kite. They're always adjusting them and make sure. And the reason that floats on there is to make sure that your bait's in the waters, because you can't see your bait when it gets a long way from the boat, but you can see that float out there. Yeah, and you got to use the clips. I don't have any clips with me or anything like that to show you. But you don't have to. A lot of people electric kite reels. You got to have an electric kite reel. You don't have to have an electric kite reel. You wind the damn thing back down. I mean, that right there's the electric kite reel right there.
Makes it nice, though.
If your arm gets
Yeah.
tired, then you switch over here to your left and do it like this.
Let's get a pen, Senator.
Sir?
Just a pen, Senator. It works.
Yeah, exactly. So but kite fishing is the reason you see so many kite fishermen in Miami and Fort Lauderdale and down south of here is because all those tournaments are live bait tournaments. They're not allowed to fish dead bait. So, I mean, they don't throw dead baits.
Fun to watch the strike too.
Sir?
Top water.
Watch the strike
It's
too.
it's
They launch.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's fun.
Kingfish launch, sailfish launch.
Oh, yeah. I've seen kingfish jump 20 feet out of the water.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
We saw one jump over a boat.
Unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable.
Has
Yeah.
anybody
Did
been
you-
offshore fishing? You been offshore?
Yeah.
You've been catching many
Sailfish.
besides sails?
How rough is it?
Beautifully, that's
It's nice now,
Was it?
but
Yeah,
it was
but it was rough, last week.
yeah.
My rule of thumb, if they tell you on channel 29, if they tell you it's 3 to 5, it's 4 to 6. You got to add a little bit of juice on top of that. Because I don't know what those guys are using to measure it with, but I know when it's 3 to 5, that 24-foot Ranger of mine has a hard time out there.
Well, I think it's the buoy. What buoy are they using, right?
Yeah.
It's the one off of Palm Beach,
Must be.
and
Tidal coefficient, look at the tidal coefficient.
Right,
Yesterday
the
was
tides.
0, so I mean,
Yeah.
you can gauge with that too, even if they call 2 to 3 footers, the in-betweens are gonna be so far on the tidal coefficient.
right.
That's the thing to watch. Coming up at the end of the month, it's gonna be rowdy.
Yeah, swells are, if it's just a swell, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, swell's not a big deal. It's when you get that washing machine effect.
Yeah.
Where everything's going different directions.
Is that your girlfriend?
No, I cut my phone off. It was his phone, it wasn't mine. Is your ringer on?
We're using my phone for Facebook,
Oh, okay.
so hopefully nobody calls.
I hope your girlfriend doesn't call.
I just ordered it for tomorrow.
What
All
is
right.
it? 4 to 6?
No. I got somebody to fish tomorrow, but there's no shrimp. I like shrimp better than anything. But I just ordered bait from Stuart Live Bait.
Oh, okay.
Use some
What'd
fish
you
bites.
order? Pilchers? I don't think
40
it's
a
got.
dozen now.
I don't
Brian?
think. That's greenies
And pilchard mix, he said.
and mixed. Yeah.
All right.
What else?
Anybody else?
Boats. Who's wanting to trade boats?
What do you got?
What do you want?
Got a ranger.
I got a Ranger. I put you in it right. 23. What's my boat?
22.
22. Bahia 22.
220.
220. Bahia 220.
One of the big 25s you used to have.
Yeah.
I still got a 25 Parker.
No, Ranger.
Oh.
The older one.
I have a customer who said he wants to sell his. It's a 2015. It's got an E-Tech though, 300 E-Tech. It's a nice boat. He had this. He had the half tower made for it instead of the big tower. It's the one you stand on the console. It's really nice. It's a great layout. You might want that.
I'm out of the boat buying.
Okay.
I ain't got enough time left to wear them out. I enjoy fishing out of that aluminum boat of mine more than I do any of them. Talking about boats, how's the pricing on the boats this year? Did they go up a lot?
Well, they went up like everything else did throughout
Yeah.
COVID, and you know, we're starting to see more inventory.
Yeah.
So, which means that, you know, discounts are we're seeing them again.
What about boat loans? What's a typical boat loan interest rate right now?
They're anywhere, depends on the credit history of the individual.
Really?
It's
What if you had a
6.5
700
to-
credit?
6.5 to 8.5%.
What
So,
would-
you know, I mean, again, it depends on how much you're putting down, how much you're borrowing.
Yeah. How much skin you got to gain?
Yeah, it's you know, I mean, they're you know, historically they're not terrible, but as people are used to the zero interest, you know, and very low rates and all that, so it's going to take a little while for people to kind of come back around.
Mm-hmm.
Did Yamaha standardize that 5-year warranty? Is that pretty much standard?
It's 5-year on the 425. I don't believe they've standardized it on any of the others yet. I mean,
I saw that the boat show all over the place.
425s are 5-year. At the Stewart show?
Yeah, I saw those little 5-year signs everywhere on the Yamaha.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I didn't.
Yeah, I don't, you know, I don't think it's for the. We haven't seen anything yet on the smaller motors. But there's some new stuff coming out. Both Mercury and, you know, Yamaha, I think's got something coming too. So
I'm gonna tell you, mine might blow up tomorrow, but that old 150 Mercury of mine has been a workhorse, boy, workhorse. And I've had all kinds, everything from a Honda to anything, Everroads, a whole 9 yards. It's been a workhorse.
all right,
You
any
like
other?
Mercury's?
I do. I'm a fan.
I am too.
We're gonna see some of those 400, you know, 10 cylinders coming in here pretty soon.
What's that gonna do to the transom on them boats? Are they
Boat.
built for those?
The motor weighs about 710 pounds.
Wow.
Well,
It's 400 horsepower. The Yamaha weighs 1,000 pounds. The 425,
How much is the 600?
1,200. That thing's a beast. You know, yeah.
That's
Good
a
for you.
We're gonna start seeing some on some of our boats will have that 400 V10.
Huh.
Well, that'll be interesting.
that'd be real interesting. You know, nowadays, and maybe I'm just fantasizing, I don't know, but it seems like to me with the new technology in these motors, Yamaha, Mercury, Suzuki, if it'll crank, it'll run. You know, if it'll crank, it'll run. So you can get away from, I mean, I have no problem putting a single engine on a boat anymore.
Reliability is much better than
And it used to be a lot better. Rather than two 150s, I'd rather have one 300. You know, because now, what does it cost for a service, 200-hour service?
800?
$800.
Depends on where you go. It could up if you're doing all the zincs and the thermostats and the water pump. It could be upwards of $1,000.
$1,000. So, you know, if you fish a lot, like I do, that's something to think about. You know, $800 times 2 is $1,600. It's hard to hide $1,600 from the bookkeeper.
You're not
at
helping
house.
my sales here, Sam. I got a couple of leftover twin 150 boats here.
Well,
Good Parkers. We're gonna making deals on them.
I'm pull them off and put one single motor on it.
Give them the free service first time around.
Yeah.
Do you ever do that? Give free service for the first $800,
We'll talk,
$200.
anything's available, anything's possible. You know, the boss man.
Let's hear the sales pitch. I want to hear the sales pitch.
You come see me and we'll talk.
Yeah, I want to hear the sales pitch. We gonna do it behind like closed doors?
No, we'll go ahead and finish this up since we're at 30 minutes. But yeah, come in and see us. We have some good boats available. We got Parker, like I said. We've got Everglades. We've got Regal. We've got Barletta pontoons, and now we have Twin V. So we've got a good selection, and the pontoons we've got some 2022 model years. We've got a couple Everglades 2022s. We've got a couple Parkers. So those are definitely going to see some some deep discounts in them. So we're making deals. So come in and see us, and we'll talk about free service and
Free service, that's
all
what
that
I'm
stuff.
interested in.
Nothing's free though, right?
Nothing's free, that's right.
Except Sam, his free trips. He
Yeah.
likes to fish so much, you just jump on the boat with him.
I have done that. Come on, go with me. When I was having those TIAs, I needed a partner.
So we'll end this saying goodnight to our friends out in Colorado, Carolyn,
Bye,
and
Jerry.
He said thank you, and hope you're doing well. And we'll talk soon. And we're going to end the Facebook here and continue in the store here. So come see us, Sundance Marine.
Go
We're
fishing.
Open every day. All right, how do I stop it?
Hit that button on the side.